Like I mentioned, today is your lucky day. We'll be running a course on version control, in particular Git. Okay.
Yes.
So first things first, I'm going to share a link with you. It's something I'd like you to follow through with me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so just visit this link. I'll also I'll also present on the on this particular video, but you could also open it up live if you want to go back. All right. But feel free to ask me any question while I go through. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me screen share. 1 second, please. There is bread. All right. Can you see what I have on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Beautiful. 1 second. All right. Okay, beautiful. Yeah. So if you've opened the link, now the first thing of course you need to have is to have Git on your system. I'm assuming you do, right?
No, I'm currently downloading it from you.
Okay, currently downloading from Windows. All right. But while you're doing that, I can as well go ahead. So I'll be like I said, I'll be running
Okay.
it's a practical class, but you just ask me any question you have at any time. So the most important thing you need to know about Git is this command. Not necessarily the most important thing, but this is where you start. Okay. So now, let me first do a quick run through about what Git really is. Version control started many years ago. The point was, how can we do two things? How can we work remotely? Like you are where you are, I am where I am. We're working on the same project. How can we collaborate? Okay. And then also, how can we have different copies of a particular code base so that at any time
Yes.
T, I can always roll back to what it was before or move to something else. So I'll give an instance. If I had three like let's use gala for an example. If I had one gala sausage roll, I'm preparing it right now. Remember, programming is like creating stuff, right? So I'm creating one gala sausage roll and mistakenly added too much salt. I'll need to roll back to how gala was before I added salt, then now add salt again. Am I correct? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So in the same way,
Hello.
yes, I can hear you. I got you. Am I losing you?
Yeah, it started cracking.
Oh, wow. How
Hello.
about now? Can you hear me now? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay, good. I want to try and
can.
resume. Okay. All right. So let me resume. So like I was saying, so when you're writing code, there are some times when you need to roll back and roll forward, or stop doing what you're doing, do something else, then come back to what you're doing. You understand what I'm talking about, right? Do you? Can you hear me? Hello, can you
Yes.
hear me? Um,
Yes, I. Yes, I can.
so so that's why Git was actually invented. Okay, it was invented for people who like to, would I call it, play around with code, and most importantly for collaboration. Okay, so the first command you see in the guide I shared with you is how to initialize Git, how to actually start it. So once you have it installed, you can start it on any folder, and I will explain more as we move forward. So this operating system I'm using is Ubuntu, so that nobody disturbs me about patent rights. Ubuntu is open source; it's free also.
Okay.
Yeah. So but it's similar to your experience on Windows. This is my Explorer. I just go to a folder, right? So I'll move to a folder called
Okay.
this, and I'll open this. So at this same time, most of this particular folder is already a Git folder. How do I know? There is a .git folder inside here. So this is what Git init really does. It just creates this guy. Now this guy is what will keep will I call it a snapshot. Okay, it will keep a copy of this entire folder you are seeing. To keep different copies inside here. You can see that there are branches here, there are objects. I will explain what all these things are with time. Okay, but just let's start the magic in quotes. So I'm going to this folder, it's not a Git folder. So I'll try and create a
Okay.
Git folder out of this now. All right. So I'm opening my terminal. I'm using terminal so that you can actually get the hang of it. Okay. Now I'm going to go to this same location, all right, so that I can deal with it on the terminal level. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to cd into
Yes.
var www. Don't be scared about the word you see. I'm just trying to get to the same place.
So,
So now I'm here. How do I know? If I list the items here, you can see the same lib and sub client. Does that make sense? All right. So now at this point, I
yes.
can now do git init. What will git init do? It will initialize an empty repository in this particular folder. And this is what it did. You saw the same .git now, right?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So it's nothing magical. What has happened now is that I have just made this particular folder a Git repository. So let's move on. Now, another thing you can always do instead of creating a repository this way using Git init, you can always join a project. So most of the time, for instance, you would create the project, you will share the project with your mentor using a link. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So let me do a practical example. So let's say this is Bitbucket, by the way. You're going to be using Bitbucket for your project. Okay, I'm going to giving you the. I'll actually create the project for you and just give you the link to use. I think that would be easier than the other way around, just so that we maintain the structure. Okay. Yeah. So now I
Yes.
want to now imagine someone has been working on a particular project, and you can see that these are the list of projects in our company. No, it's not business. Imagine I want to now create a copy of a particular project. So let's say I want to create a copy of which one should I make a copy of now? I already have this, I already have this, I already have this. Let me just create a copy of this is where okay, let's create a copy of this. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So all I need is the URL. The URL is structured in a very funny way. It recognizes my name and it knows that it is from bitbucket.com. Bitbucket.com in this case is .org rather is just the version control host. Okay, it's not keeping all my Git stuff. VGG dev means that I'm working from VGG, and then this invest track, this is the exact folder that I want to collect. Okay, so let me show you the magic. So once I do this, and I seed it to the same location or wherever I want to put it. In this case, I want to go back to the text. Now I'm in that protect folder. I'm in this place. All right. Once I run a git clone and I drop the URL to ask me to tell me straight up that it's trying to clone and to not ask me for my password. The password is your Bitbucket password. Okay, mine is a simple password. Or I won't tell you. But you can see right now that it is trying to clone the exact repo into InvestTrack cap table. This is the repo here. If you go into it, you see .git. And it's an empty repo. There's nothing inside. Okay, so I can easily cd into it. Now I am here. There's nothing in it, but it's a git repo. Why? Because if I run git init again, tell me reinitialize the existing. So it's not just creating a new one, it's using the same one. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I either git init or I git clone. All right, let's move on. So the basic workflow of Git things. One, of course, you have a regular file system. That's how all your files are. So imagine if this was a regular project that had all the PHP files, .NET files, Node.js files, in all these, they will all be here. But then everything that you can see in your file explorer is this, your working directory. Okay, I'll explain the difference between the three. Now to Git, inside this .git, it keeps a copy of everything as you have in this environment. It calls it the stage. Okay, so if you add any file to Git, so you can, in other words, you can have files that you don't want Git to know about. Don't add those files. But if you add any file to Git, they create Git will create a copy inside this .git, and then it becomes staged. All right. Now, when you are finished adding, if you commit them, they now join the head. In other words, they are ready to be pushed to your Git server, which in this case is Bitbucket. Are you with me? Remember what I said? Working directory is your own folder. Staging is the Git copy. Head is once you've committed it to head, it is an environment where it can now be pushed to your server, which is this place. It's called remote, not server, but I'll explain with time. So now let's do a simple example. So if I go back to that file that we had already, this investor cap table, I created the file here. Let's call it Garden Interns .dm.file or .txt. Like you don't get file. If I did this, now if I run, you can always ask Git what is the status of everything. So that's Git status. Now it's saying that you have untracked files. In other words, they are in your working directory, but Git doesn't know about them. Okay?
Yes.
Right. But now to make Git know about this file, all I need to do is add it. Let me make this a little larger so you can see. But this way, once I press enter to, or let me clear up this so that you don't. Right. So once I do git add garden interns.txt, and if I ask Git now, what is the status? It tell me there is a file. Now it recognizes the file. Okay. The file is currently staged and is ready to be committed. Now, once I commit it, it will create a copy of it. Let me show you what I mean. Now, the commit is not, while the adding is for the file, the commit is for everything I.
We have to take it slow, Mikey. The walls are crumbling, so be careful. You got me? Be careful. Holding and be.
Okay.
Mikey! This game goes on for like ever! Take it slow, Mikey. Master Splinter's down there.
Hello?
Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, apologies.
Body craves sustenance. Where
All right. So if I added the new file to it, if I ask Git what's the status now, so it's telling me that one file has been added, but it still doesn't recognize this one. So if I don't want this one to go, I can leave it like that. If I want it to go, which I do, And let's do it one last time just so you can understand what I'm trying to do. So if I create a file and call it error.log, and at the same time now ask for status. Ask for status. You can see now I have two files that Git recognizes, one file that Git does not track. So if I'm ready at this point, let's assume that these two files, Garden Interns and Precious, are fine, and I'm ready to let other people collect them. By other people, I mean other people I'm working with. Okay. If I'm ready for the other people to get them, then all I need to do is commit these two files and push them. Let me show you what I mean. So git commit -m. -m is for the message. I'm about to write a message. The point is, I'm going to write a message. Precious, please have these files. Has created two files, but it's still not having this file. Error.log. So if at the same time now I now want people to have these, okay, and if I want you to get it, which you are going to pull for me so that you just confirm, I'm going to git push, okay, origin master. It will push, ask me for my credentials and push those two files to the server. So now let's do a quick exercise, okay? I want you to clone what I just did, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I want you to get these two files now. To do that, I'm going to share the Git, add it to the Git repository. You're going to clone the repo, and you're going to get the two files. Does that make sense? So you're going to present now, no longer me. All right, let's do this. All right, so you are going to present now. Sorry?
I'm listening to ask for the password.
Yes, I know. You're going to create a Bitbucket account now.
Okay.
You have one already?
No, I'll create one now.
All right, so visit bitbucket.org. Let me know when you have created one. Are you there now?
I'm creating my account.
Okay, so the moment you do, let me drop a few messages for you.
Okay.
The moment you do, just clone this particular repo. Okay? Oh no, the moment you do, give me, let me know what your credentials are so I can add you to the repo. Interesting. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still creating my account.
Okay. I wish you could share your screen so I could see what you're doing.
Okay.
The screen share button is on the left.
On the
Left on the you take your mouse to the left of this Google Hangout page. You see screen share. Yeah, so you need to come out from this screen. All right, so I need immediately you're done. I need this username. All right. All right, beautiful. Yeah, so I just need that username now. Could you drop it on the chat by the left? All right, thank you.
It's so fun.
All right, so if you go to your homepage now,
Yes.
or if you check your email, you'd have gotten an email address. Just refresh this page. No, you can go back to. You don't need to show me your email now. Refresh the homepage of the Bitbucket. Are you with me?
Oh,
Have you refreshed this? All right, so that's the repository. Click it. Okay, so now copy this HTTPS location. Just click it. It's a copy once you click once. Yeah. Control C or something. Okay, now go back to go to your terminal. Are you there now?
yes.
I can't see it sadly.
I will not allow this. It will destroy you.
It's something up to your internet. I can't see that you're in your terminal.
Oh, I think it's sharing.
Yeah, it's supposed to share. It's fine. It should share a terminal also.
I will beat you up. Tell me what I.
Can you see it now?
No, I cannot. You're not sharing anymore. Okay, yes, you're sharing now. But you need to come up from where I am because it will always show me in the background in the node. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Change the tab from Google Hangouts to somewhere else. All right, fine. Okay, so now CD to the location that you want to put this code in. So maybe where do you like to put your code? Maybe htdocs, maybe workspace. Where do you like to put your code?
I'll create a new folder on my desktop.
All right. You can do that from here, or you can do that from. All right, cool. All right. So now git clone. Remember the command space. Now paste the link there. Press enter. So right now it's cloning this for you. So the point is, if you do the same thing I just did, you added it. Okay, yeah, you need your username and password. So just put it in once, the one you created just now. It will soon be done, but you understand the basic flow of what we just did, right?
Yes.
So the point is, at the end of this, you will have both the files I shared and the files and any file you add now. Once you push it the way I just did, I'll be able to get it also. But we don't need to practice that now. While this is going on, let's just move on. Is that fine?
Okay.
Yes. So the next step, if we want to continue. All right, so we can move on. So you understand the concept of adding and committing. You're going to run a practical example soon. But then I also did a push. Okay. Now the concept of this okay, you wouldn't need it anymore because you are working with a clone repository. So the concept of cloning will actually add the origin for you. Okay, the origin in this case is just where you are fetching your files from. That's the version control server in this case, which in our own case is Bitbucket. You get my point? So, but if you really wanted to run a command like this, you run it on, say, you look at my terminal. I'm going to that Aeon project. All right, cool. If I wanted now, because this repository, although it is a repository, it is not. It doesn't have an origin. I didn't clone it. Okay. Now to prove that, I can just do this. There is no remote. Now I need to add a server so that I can start pushing. Okay. Now to add a server, I'll follow the same step that we just did. I will go over here, pick out the URL, and I'll do a git remote add origin. Simple. So now if I check my origins, you can see I now have the origin. So if I do the same git pull, git push now, it will get me the same files that I had. I mean that you are also getting right now. Okay.
Yes.
So the origin is nothing to be scared of. It's just the server that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on. So now the concept of branching is very simple.
Is it the girl?
So someone is at the background there though.
I don't know.
All right. So the concept of branching is very simple. Okay.
What's the LLS?
Oh, there's some noise in the background. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Are you there?
I'm here.
All right, good. Yeah, so the concept of branching is simple. Now, like I was telling you, if you are building this beautiful application, and for some here's at the door, okay? You're building this beautiful application, and for some reason, you either need to go back to a previous version, or you need to stop working on the one you're working on, the version you're working on now, and work on something else. Or let me give a better instance. You have released version 1 of your application, you're working on version 2. But for some beautiful reason, there was a bug in version 1 that someone just reported. You need to go back to version 1, fix that bug, and then come back to continue working on version 2. All you need to do is branch. If you originally had version 1 on a branch, for instance, you can easily just go to that branch, by branch of 3, if you remember. If you see this diagram, let's assume this is where we're working on, the master, okay? This could be version, let's say this is a bug fix, okay? This can be either a bug fix or a new feature. So if I want to add a new feature to the real application, okay, I would actually just go to this feature and then work on the feature. Then I now come back to the master branch. Okay, so now it's not as esoteric as it sounds, but you get to you get to use this more often once you start your real project. Okay.
Yes.
All right then. Okay. Yeah. So let's run a quick example. So on this particular repo that I am, this Git Dayon project. Okay, I'm going to create a branch now. Let's call the branch Precious branch. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to immediately I'm following the first command. I'm checking out the Precious branch. And now the dash B will actually just check it out. Okay, so it has created a new branch Precious and has gone straight to it. Let me show you what I mean. So if I run status now, you can see that I am now on branch Precious. I was initially on branch master. What do I mean by this? If I run I need to push this branch, okay? But let me show you a more explicit example of branching. I go into the one of the investor projects. All right. Can you see how many branches are in this particular repository?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's this, now you can see all these remotes. All these remotes are just the copies online. Remember, the remote is the server, right?
Yes.
Exactly. While the master branch is the only local branch I have. So I didn't bother create this one. I didn't bother with this. I just collected this particular. I'm just working on the master branch. I don't really care about the rest. But the point is, if there is this develop branch, for instance, I used it to just create. I need to create a copy of this particular repository. By repository, I mean this code. Okay. Now with this particular copy I have, just like that. With this particular copy I have, I can do anything I want on the master. Or okay, let me give an instance. So if I do a checkout,
It's probably because you can't remember. Yeah, I can remember, Joe.
oh okay.
I can remember it's legit. I know the password. It's the password I know on the system. It's more than how many days now? Close to 60 days.
Forget about the commands I'm writing. Okay, just focus on what I'm doing now.
Password now. What else gonna do now? Can you reset it? Oh, you can't.
Maybe I should just use another so that I don't confuse you. Let's get back to which one we're working on. The company, I think, was it company management? Okay. Beautiful. So I have only master and I have okay. So now if I added let's create a new branch out of this. Okay, let's call it develop. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm on develop. Okay, so if I do it branch dash A, now you can see all the branches I have. I have a course branch, I have a develop branch, I have a master branch, and I have only two remotes, master and then head. Remember, head is the same thing as master. Head is just where I'm at now. Master is the copy on the server. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So ideally in the same, so anything you can create, you can delete. So the command you see here, this git branch blah blah dash d feature x. If I wanted to delete the develop branch I just created now, I could do it. Okay. So now you remember the concept of branching is this. So
Okay.
imagine if you and I are working on something. You want to work on, we're both trying to build a solution. Let's call it maybe a dashboard. You're supposed to work on the front end, I'm supposed to work on the back end. For some reason, I don't like to see your code. I don't want your code to spoil mine in a way. Okay. I could easily just create a branch for myself, do all the code I want to do. You could create a branch for yourself, write all the code you want to write. When you are done, when I am done, I can merge my branch to the master branch. Remember, master is the main branch. Okay. You can also do the same. Merge your branch to the master branch.
Okay.
That way, there will be nobody editing someone else's files. So if I imagine if I went to create a file, you now come tomorrow morning and wrote something else, like change the same file. By the time I wake up in the morning, I'm expecting my code to run, but because you've made a change, my code doesn't run anymore. That will cause a back and forth that we don't need. You understand? So let's bring it down to the ground. You have a mentor, you're an intern. You write stuff, your mentor looks at stuff. He can also write stuff too. Are you with me? But in the same time, we do not want a scenario where you're working on something, your mentor is working on something, and there's a conflict. Okay. All right. So that is the essence of branching, at least the basic essence. Okay. Yeah. So let me just delete the develop branch that I created. But as you can see, all these commands are here for you to use at any time you want to. Okay.
Okay.
Let me first go to the master branch. I'm now on the master branch and I want to delete the develop. Okay. Now if I use capital D to force the delete.
Okay.
So the develop branch is gone. If I run this now, dash A will just show me all my branches. You can see there's no develop anymore. All right. So let's imagine now the way you did a clone. Okay, are you with me? What was okay? It was cap. Okay, cool. So now I'm here. Okay, this is now I've gone back to the same repo you just cloned. Okay, so imagine if I created another file. Let's call it. Oh no, let's do something beautiful. Let's delete Precious. Sorry for deleting you. It's one of those things, have you? All right. So I just deleted. You can see that I deleted Precious from here. Now, if I come here and I really want you to, I want the same Precious deleted on your own system. Have you finished cloning the repo, by the way? Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Have you finished cloning the repo?
Yes.
Did you see all the files?
Yes, I saw Garden Interns and Precious.
Okay, beautiful. So I just deleted Precious. I'm going to commit that, yes, I really want to delete Precious. Okay, now, don't be scared. You get confused. You get more comfortable with this the more you use it. Okay.
Yes.
Should we everything up to date? Oh, I've not added it. Sorry. Okay.
Yes, so join.
All right. So now, can you run this command? This particular command I'm looking at, git pull. Just this. Are you there?
Yes.
What do you see? Or maybe you should share your screen.
I'm showing that.
Are you sharing?
Yes.
Okay, no, you're in the wrong place. Go into the repo. CD into the invest track underscore cap table.
There you go, almost 2 months ago now.
When was the last time
You need to come out of this place. Though.
signed on to the
I've
network?
not used to, I've not used the network in about 10 months.
All right, so now git pull.
How many people? I'm bring my laptop. Don't just follow.
It's probably going to answer. Okay. Okay, good. So now you can see it deleted the precious of PHP. Could you open your file system? You will find that the file is deleted. Voila. So the point remains, you can, so this way, you and I are collaborating without actually being in the same place. Am I correct?
Yes.
Did you hear me?
Yes, I did.
All right, good. So in the same way, I would naturally, you see me use this already, adding files. Okay, if you want to, you can run through the video again. You'll see where I actually added files. Anything anything you do, you have to add it to Git. By add, remember there's a working directory, there's the staging environment, then there is the head. Once you add, it will add it, it will stage it, so Git will recognize it. Okay. In the same way, this Git merge is the tool that I told you about, where if I have a branch and you have a branch, when we are done, we merge it back to master. Okay. We don't need to do that now.
Yes.
Hopefully, when you need to merge, you have to do that with your mentor. Okay, and he will run you through it. But remember, it's a very good tool that you eventually have to use. Okay. Now, the last thing I'll talk about is tagging is not really important to you right now. Your mentor will actually bring it up to bring you up to speed with it when you need to create a version. Remember, this 1.0 is a version 1 of the application. Okay, you just tag this as version
Okay.
1. But hopefully, when you get version 1, then you tag. Then the last thing I want to talk about is the log. The log is the place where you see things that have happened thus far. So you can see with me share. No, let me share my screen again so you can go with me. Right, can you see me? Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay, I'm about to enter Git log. I just did. It's showing me the entire history of what I've done thus far. So the last thing, if you remember, that I did was I deleted you. The thing before that was that I told you to have the files, and then lastly, you okay, someone else created the repository. Now you can see that 3 people have actually worked on this repository. You don't know this guy, it's not your problem because all of us are working remotely. He wasn't there when you did anything. You weren't there when you did anything. Okay? As in, when I did anything initially. Are you getting what I'm saying? So it's just to help with
Yes.
remote working. Exactly my point. So the one other thing you may want to do are these 2 things. Now this command is very tricky. I wouldn't advise you to do it without someone like me around. But nonetheless, when you fetch, all you are doing is telling Git to become current. Current in the sense that if someone has pushed something, you want to pull it without it affecting your working environment, your working directory, then you fetch it. By the time you fetch it, it will remain in the staging environment, but it will not appear in your working directory. Are you with me? Oh, okay. I want to assume the network is gone. But nonetheless, so the last thing
Yes.
I'm going to, okay, beautiful, beautiful. Now, at any time T, you can always check out a file. If you check out a file, all you're trying to do is remove any changes you have not yet committed. Okay, so imagine if I went into this Garden Interns file and I wrote blah 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 blah, blah and I saved it. I saved already. But once I run git checkout Garden Interns, because I have, remember I saved that change, but because I have not committed it, once I check it out, the file is back to how it was before. Are you with me? So because checking out just reverts you back to the last stage environment. Okay. So most importantly, I would implore you to start with maybe the more you use the terminal, the more you understand it. That's the truth. But because you need to get straight into the mix, then I'll implore you to start with a GUI tool. Okay? GUI tools exist. There are lots. There's Source Tree by Bitbucket.
Okay.
There are many other GUI tools. Let me see if Ubuntu comes with this particular guy. Nah. I have to install it, but I don't want to because I don't like Git in the GUI. Anyways, but there are many other tools you can use to understand Git from a GUI perspective. Okay, and I trust that it will help you to run a lot better. But I will stop here for further questions, and hopefully your experience with your mentor will also bring you up to speed with using Git. But at least today I know you learned how to clone your repository. You also saw how to add files, push files, and pull them. In other words, work remotely with people even though you don't see them. So now, do you have any questions? If you don't have questions, I'll ask you a question.
Hello?
Yes, I said I'm done. So do you have any questions?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay. No, I don't.
You don't have a question. Okay, beautiful. My question is not a question, it's a task actually. Can you create a file and push it to me? Share your screen all through though. Let's do it together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So share your screen and let's start.
Yes.
Are you sharing your screen? Okay, good. Call it Caleb something or something.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so now that you've added the file, run git status. Ask git what is the status.
You have created the file.
Yeah. So write git status, git space status. Wow, the guy's gone offline.
It's most probably network.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay, so in the absence of
Let's wait for it.
yeah, sure, I'll give him some time. Okay, it's back. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, you went off for a while. Could you share your screen again? Okay, so go into. All right, so good. So you can see the killer.txt. All right, so now Git is still in your working directory, but it's not in the staging environment. In other words, you need to add it. So git add killer.txt. So run status again. So you have a new file, but it's not yet committed. It's still in your Git recognizes it, but it's not yet ready to be pushed. So now commit it. Run git commit -m because you're about to send a message. Now the message will be in quotes because it's a text. Yeah, so just write hello Caleb or something. Press enter.
Okay. It doesn't have
Yeah, Git doesn't know who you are yet. Okay, run the but we need your email. So run those two
My
commands.
email.
Yeah, like you're using. Can you see the commands up there? The git config global user.email then global user.name.
Yes.
Yeah, so just run them, but replace those you at example with your real email, and then the ones you use to set up your Bitbucket, for instance, and your real username and your real name rather. Mm-hmm. Run the second one. You use specials. Right. Try the commit again. Okay, cool. So now push it. Git push origin master. Remember, origin is just the name of the remote in this case. Master is the branch. Okay, good. So now I can pull it on my end and see my beautiful file. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm doing that now. So just so that I can let me share my screen. Okay. You can stop sharing yours. And my beautiful file is here. You get, so if in the condition that you I'm your mentor, you're Marinton, and you made some changes to code and you push them via this means, you agree with me that I would have gotten your code now. In other words, your working code will be on my system. So does that make sense? Do you now understand what
Okay.
we're using version control for?
Yes,
That is the
I
basics.
do.
Are you with me? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I said, do you now understand that? Do you understand the basics of what we're using version control for?
Yes, I do.
All right, then, cool. So I will leave you to explore Git, and with time I'll post more resources on DevCranks. Okay, but I'll leave you to explore Git more and more, and then hopefully before the end of the week we're running into, that's next week, you will have a project. And when you're running the project, if you're having Git issues, meet your mentor, or on the rare occasion that your mentor is unavailable, meet me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Then. So Precious, it was nice talking to you,
So nice talking to you. Yeah.
and I hope to see you very, very shortly. Yeah, have a nice time, though.